Oh. Is that you, Year 7? I haven't seen you for a while. I'm in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, and I'm just looking at some works by Mark Rothko. He was one of those Colourfield artists that we spoke about when we did colour, when we did the colour wheel. And he was one of those artists who rejected illusionism. So he rejected anything that wanted to try and make the 2D space pretend to be 3D. So he and many other Colourfield artists, they rejected perspective, they rejected tone, because tone makes a 2D object look like it's 3D because of shading. They rejected size, because the size of an object gets smaller if it looks further and further in the distance. And if you have a look at Mark Rothko's work behind me, his work is all about flat 2D space. And that's what these Colourfield artists wanted to do. So Year 7, you would call the work of the Colourfield painters non-representational or abstract art. And their works were always huge, so when you stood in front of them, just like I'm doing right now at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, you feel completely enveloped by those artworks when you stand in front of them. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start an activity where you're going to be the Colourfield artist and you're going to create an artwork mainly using line, shape and colour. Remember, we said that not all the art elements are evident in a work of art. And you're going to create an artwork in your VAPDs, and it's probably going to take you 2 lessons. And I'll show you some instructions to help you with that. Year 7, open your VAPD to a double page spread. On the back of the page, right, leave blank, and then I'd like you to draw a border around your page. Year 7, the next thing you're going to do is choose 2 different geometric shapes. You're going to draw them in 2 different sizes, say for example 5 centimeters and 8 centimeters. Then you're going to cut them out. Now I've chosen a triangle and a hexagon, but you might want to choose a circle and a square, or a diamond and an octagon, or a parallelogram. It's up to you. Now Year 7, you're going to put your shapes on your A3 page, and you're going to begin to trace those shapes so that they overlap and they cover your A3 page. Take care to consider the composition of your Colourfield artwork so that it has a sense of balance. You don't want to have all the large shapes on one half of the image and then the smaller shapes on the other half, for example. So just make sure that you're thinking about what looks right to the eye. Once you're happy with your overall design, Year 7, you need to choose 3 harmonious colours. And remember what harmonious is? It means that they are colours on the same side of the colour wheel. The ones I've chosen are red, purple and a kind of crimsony red. So now it's your job as a Colourfield artist to choose colours and colour in your overall design so that you create a sense of balance. Year 7, once you've finished your design, it needs to be emphasised a bit with an outline. I don't like using black, and generally I will go for, depending on the colour scheme of the artwork, but in this case I'll go for a dark indigo blue. So I'm tracing over all those lines to make them stand out a little bit. Notice Year 7 that I've drawn some lines radiating out of the artwork, and those lines radiate from the artwork to the border. I'm going to use those lines for the next step of my artwork. So you need to choose 3 colours that contrast with your original colours. Then, once you've coloured in from the artwork to the border, use the same sharp pencil, the dark blue, to outline those radiating lines as well as the border right around the edges. So now Year 7, you've finished your artwork. Take a photo of your work and upload it to Google Classroom. And be sure to hold on to your work by keeping it in your VAPD, because I'll be collecting it for framing when you come back to school. Thanks, Year 7.